Hey there, I am back with another deck review, and today we're going to be looking at Pinup from Agitcom and designer Sviatoslav Pashchuk. In 1916, a crew comprised mainly of American volunteer pilots formed an Air Force unit to fly for France during World War I. They called themselves Lafayette Escadrille, naming themselves for Marquis de Lafayette, the French hero who had fought for the US during the Revolutionary War. The group adopted an Indian head insignia, decorating their planes with a vivid image of a Native American warrior. And this is often credited as one of the first examples of nose art on military planes. But the practice didn't really take off until World War II, when one of the most prominent adornments arose, the pinup girl. Artists like Alberto Vargas and Gil Elvgren popularized glamorous women being painted on the noses of wartime bombers as a morale boost to the troops and a reminder of the brighter future that awaited them after the war. And that legacy of art and military is the subject of Ukrainian artist Sviatoslav Pashchuk's latest deck, Pinup. And for this one, he brings this style to more current events, mixing in a tribute to the Ukrainian army in their fight against Russia in current day. Now, Sviatoslav has several decks to his name and some of the most beautifully illustrated characters that you'll see anywhere, so I can't wait to see what he brings to this unique historical art form. Now, this is actually V2 of the deck. V1 was released back in 2018, but if, like me, you missed that original version, it's great to get an updated version of the deck in 2022. So excited to dive into them. Comes in two different versions. You have the Field and the War edition of the deck. We'll get a chance to look at both of them. They're pretty similar, but there are a couple of differences. So let's start off, though, with the War version of the deck. All right, so it's done on a black sort of soft touch tuck box here. And I love that the black has this sort of crackling in it to give it a little bit of an antiqued texture. Love the look of that. And the foil and embossing on this one is just really, really nicely done. Nice deep emboss and three different colors of foil. You get the copper, the gold, and that bright, vivid red. Beautiful look to it overall. And of course, the main feature here in the center is the portrait of one of our first characters that we're going to see, the first of the many pinup girls that we're going to see throughout the deck. Beautiful looking image on this one, and you can really see the skill that goes into the character work that Sviatoslav does. On his YouTube channel, he has some like time lapses of him drawing these and other characters, and it's really cool to see the process as he builds the layers to create these really fantastically shaded and colored in characters. Love the little touch of the yellow and blue earring there, obviously a nod to the Ukrainian flag. And then the foil work on the outside gives all sorts of different highlights and kind of brings you back to that 50s vintage style when the pinup girls were at their most popular. Of course, you get the cursive pinup name of the deck there in red, and then lots of little military symbols. Of course, the ring of bullets there in copper and gold, and even the little military insignias there in the corners. Really nice look to it. At the bottom, 54 playing cards, which, as you'll see, is ironic because there's actually 57 cards in here. Not sure why it says 54. And then the little pips there in the corner as well. Really cool look to it. And then on the sides, you get pin-up military playing cards. Same thing on the other side. Plenty of foil there. Bottom has your ad copy, of course, mentions the art by Sviatoslav Pashchuk, and that these were printed fittingly in Ukraine by NPCC. The top has a little slogan there, "Glory to us, death to the enemy." And the back has some beautiful foil work, nice little design work, and some symbols here that are, again, nods to the Ukrainian army. So this isn't the back design of the cards, but you do get some nice little symbols here. In the center there, the trident, that's a classic symbol of Ukraine itself. That's on their coat of arms. And then surrounding it, symbols of the different branches of the military. Beautiful little symbols in the corner. And then the slogan here, you see "Glory to Ukraine," kind of covered up by that tuck seal, "Glory to the heroes." And then finished out with this vintage style tuck seal. Looks a little bit unusual, the red and white there, but the symbol on there, that's a Cossack. The Cossack with the rifle over his shoulder is actually another nod to Ukraine's history, with the Cossack appearing on their original coat of arms that they used in the early 20th century. So very cool tuck box. As you open it up, you get the star there, another militaristic looking symbol, and the silhouettes here of some of the pinup girls in gold foil interior flaps. And then on the inside, a beautiful full color image with a whole mixture of different pinup girls throughout. Really cool, beautiful full color on the interior of the tuck box. So that's the tuck box, but let's check out the cards, and we'll start with the back design. And the back design definitely dives heavy into the military side of this deck with symbols featuring all different parts of the Ukrainian military. So it's the symbols for the different branches of the military kind of combined to form this back design. Beautiful look to it overall, and a nice mixture of gold metallic inks to give this one just a little bit of shine as you go in the lights. It does come across, I think, a little bit busy. In particular, I think this filigree that's used as filler in the corners here, I think really helps this feel a little bit more cluttered than I would have wished. But overall, I still do like the design work on this one, and I love picking out the little details as you go through. Finishes out with that thin white poker border that's just slightly broken by a couple of design elements, like this filigree in the corner. But a nice back design overall, even if it is just a little bit busy. All right, but now let's check out the main deck. So you get a pair of jokers, again, very simply featuring another pair of characters, the pinup girls there, each of them wearing the military hat and giving that smile into the camera. And then Joker written across the top in that beautiful red script. And then love the stamping and the nice texturing on the back design of the card, or the back of the cards there as well. So nice looking pair of jokers. And then you get 3 other extra cards. You can call these ad cards. You could also use them as extra jokers. And of course, kind of a full pinup poster style there with the slogan, "Fight, you'll overcome." So very nice. And each one of them kind of featured with more modern warfare implements. So like you have the rocket launcher there, for example. The other 2, at first glance, maybe look like they're identical cards, although you'll see she's winking in one of them. So it's the smiling and then the winking version. And again, that "Fight, you'll overcome" slogan. Really like these. These extra cards look fantastic. And by the way, this is the same character that's featured on the tuck box, of course. All right, then into the rest of the deck. And the Ace of Spades features one more character with the rocket launcher slung over her shoulder in the middle of the large spade pip with the pinup and 54 playing cards written down there at the bottom. You get that same kind of textured background and then almost stamped on looking pip and index there in the corner. Again, kind of in keeping with that military theme. It definitely looks like something you'd see like stamped onto a helmet or something like that. The other 3 aces, a little bit simpler. They do have that textured background, slightly larger pip in the center, but otherwise no other artwork on the other 3 aces. Number cards, kind of like the other 3 aces, just feature the pips there in the center. Not overly large pips, but I do like the kind of stamped on looking style there. Almost like they're stamped or painted on or stenciled on in some way. But there's the spades and then into the diamonds. So you get the black for the black cards and then kind of an orangish red for the red cards. Into the clubs there. So a great choice of fonts and just overall styling to give these nice utility, but at the same time give them that kind of military feel to them overall. So there are your hearts. And then we get into the court cards. And of course, the court cards are going to feature more pinup girls. So they're all one-way art, which is great. I think it gives it a chance to kind of explore the full style of the art. And then, of course, they mix in modern warfare implements throughout. Really cool looks to them overall. Love the variety of characters, the variety of weaponry that's used throughout this one. It's just a really nice look to them overall. I just, some of them I think a little bit better than others. Some of them I think the proportions come across a little bit odd. Like on this one, the head looks a little bit big. And because of the way she's positioned, the legs look a little bit large. But others I think are just fantastically drawn. So kind of a mixture as you go through. And, everybody's going to like different ones of these. But personally, I think it's just fantastic artwork. Sviatoslav just does such great work with his artwork and such attention to detail. This is one of my favorites here, that King of Clubs. It's a really great looking card. But love the colors, the vibrancy, and just the mixture of different characters as you go throughout. And that is the deck, or at least that is the War edition of the deck. Now, I mentioned there are, of course, 2 different versions. So let's take a quick look at the field version of the deck as well. So very, very similar artwork to the War version, at least in terms of the foil and the detailing around. But of course, we get a portrait of a different character, the blonde here in the center with that camouflage cap. And the color has been changed to this sort of greenish tan color, definitely kind of a military inspired color, but you still get that kind of cracking in the background to give it that extra bit of texture. But otherwise, similar artwork. I gotta say, I think I like the, I guess I'll say I like the black version a little bit better. Highlights the details a little bit better with the dark background and the foil. But this one, the field version does still look really nice in hand. But otherwise, very similar artwork other than some slight color changes. You'll see some silver foil on this one, whereas this one had the copper and gold. So this one has gold, silver, and red. And same tuck seal, same artwork on the inside as well. So you get that full color artwork on the interior of the tuck box. Other than that, you get some color changes in this one. So the back design, this one makes heavy use of silver metallic inks to go with those golds and coppers. And this one, again, I kind of prefer the war version of the deck. I think the black really highlights those details a little bit more. They get a little bit more lost in this one. Although I will say somehow this one doesn't feel quite as busy as the war version of the deck. So I don't know. I like different aspects of them, but overall I think I probably prefer the war. But that silver does look even shinier on this one than even the gold did on the previous. As you turn to this one, a lot of similar artwork on this one. Very, very similar. You get, another, that same character that we saw on the extra card from the other version of the deck. But your winking card, or those kind of duplicate extra cards, or almost duplicate extra cards, this one swaps out, of course, this time to use the female from the tuck box of the field version of the deck. And of course, one with her looking straight at you, and the other one with her winking. But the rest of the artwork in the deck from the Jokers, other than the Ace of Spades here, which features a different character, the rest of the artwork on this one is the same as the war version of the deck. So you'll see the same number of cards, and then as you get to the court cards, the exact same court cards throughout that we were looking at on the war version. So only differences on this one are the winking extra cards, the Ace of Spades, different character, and the back design color change, as well as obviously the tuck box differences. So if you're looking at both versions, that's what you can expect in terms of differences. Overall, for me, said it a few times, the war version I think is the one that takes it for me. Both of them I think are fantastic, but I like the character on the front of the war version a little bit better than the field version, and the colors just really help with the contrast a good bit as well. Now, I will say with NPCC, one of the drawbacks you're going to get is the handling of these. Not great, especially if you're used to like USPCC or Cardamundi decks. Definitely not as smooth as handling. It's a little bit clumpier, like if you try to use it for fans, and definitely a thicker, stiffer feeling deck. So it's a bit harder to shuffle than your USPCC decks are going to be. But that's really the only drawback on this one. I think the artwork is fantastic. The quality of the print work and the quality of the foil on the tuck box, really just top notch. So overall, I think still stands up as a great deck for any collector out there. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Sviatoslav's work. I love what he's done on other decks. Amazons is another one that, if you haven't seen that one, a great deck of his. The art style just really works well for me. And for his art style, and he likes to do the sort of erotic style art with women, this one, the pinup theme, I think fits that art style to a T. So great job on this deck. And if you like what you see here, I'll put a link down in the description where you can consider checking the deck out for yourself. But hope you enjoyed this look at military history, artistic history with pinup from Agitcom. Anyway, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe for more deck reviews, more unboxings, and of course, let me know what else you want to see, and I'll see you for the next one.